Yeah, yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke. What is up, guys? What is cracking? It's the Con Man, and I'm in your house. And you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, we're coming in on a Tuesday, all right? I know you guys are used to us coming in on the Monday and then the Wednesday and then so forth and yada, yada, yada. But we coming in on a Tuesday, all right? We giving y'all the work, all right? We just came off of a really good Monday Night Raw. It was real good, a great watch. I really enjoyed it for everything. AJ Lee returning was great. Get a chance to hear her speak about everything that she had been through has been great. And we'll talk about that and a lot more tomorrow with Annie O'Neill as we debut our new show, The Bouquet of Legacy, which is going to be circling around women's wrestling. And we're going to be doing some great interviews, some watch alongs of old matches. So check that out tomorrow. But today, I was able to get a guest. And let me tell you guys, all right? Let me tell you guys, I had a great weekend this past weekend, and I was at Emerge in Columbus, Indiana. All right, I haven't had a chance to get back there since like May. All right, they had a few months where they weren't doing shows, and then it was my daughter's birthday last month, so I couldn't make it to that show, and so I finally got a chance to go to this one, and it was a vibe, ladies and gentlemen. And it was really crazy because I've been scouting for guests, looking for some great guests to come on the show. And when I was doing that, I got a chance to talk to my next guest here. And when we had set up the time to do this, it was perfect because, and even she had said it. She was like, "Oh, that's right after we'll see each other at Emerge." So it was perfect. Timing was perfect. So I loved that, and I love this competitor because I got a chance to really see what she did at Destination Six over in Illinois, an Illinois-based promotion, and really have followed what she's done since then, and now I got a chance to see with my own two eyes, close up and personal at Emerge Wrestling, and it was a fun match against Marty Bell for the Emerge Women's Championship. This competitor is just trending north. I guess that's why you would call her the elevator. The main topic, Stxrm Garcon, is in your house. What is up?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. You make me feel special.
Oh, no problem. That's what we're here to do. We're here to highlight the talent. So thank you for taking your time to come on the show and chat with me for a little bit.
Thank you.
Oh, it's no problem. It's no problem. So, like I said, I've been really following what you've been doing for a while, and it's I like what you do as far as like it's as far as your wrestling abilities. From what I see, there's a lot of aggression. Like I could see a lot of aggression behind it. I enjoy that, and like you have such like long ligaments, so like good reach, and like leg based offense and whatnot. But I always want to ask before we really get deep down into your character and who Stxrm Garcon is. I always want to go back and ask, where did professional wrestling all start for you?
It started for me when I was little. I feel like I always told my friends that I was like born out of the womb directly in front of a wrestling show because my grandmother loved watching wrestling her entire life. That's all she did. And me and my grandma are like this, like that's my girl.
Right.
So I would go over there all the time. And I remember being 6 or 7, and I came back home and I was watching WWE Bragging Rights 2009. And that was like one of the very first pay-per-views and shows that I saw that I was like, oh, I really want to be immersed into this. This is interesting to me. And everyone said it was a phase. So I was thinking to myself, like, oh, okay, maybe a couple of years will go by and then it'll fizzle out. But like the older that I became, the more I fell in love with wrestling. And so it's just been a staple in my life since a child.
That's what's up. I dig that. So you were talking about the bragging rights or whatever. What's some of your earliest memories in wrestling as far as like watching it on TV, like your first memories of who you were watching, some of your first wrestlers?
I remember we were like just scrolling through cable TV when I was younger, and I came across Spike TV when I was younger, and that's where TNA had their TV deal at the time.
Yeah.
And I saw the knockouts. So one of the first people that I saw on my screen was like Angelina Love and
Wow.
Velvet Sky, and I saw Kurt Angle, and I was thinking to myself like, I hadn't seen him since like forever because he
Yeah.
used to be in WWE, and so I didn't know that there was these other like television promotions that were wrestling on these other stations. I just thought that it was just WWE. So I saw them, and then I would watch, like I said, bragging rights, and then every Monday and Friday, I would like fight whoever I had to fight at my house to make sure that I could watch wrestling because I wanted to see the divas. I am such a big women's wrestling fan,
Yeah.
and it's
Dang.
the thing that kept me going and watching it. So I would watch the entire show, the whole 2 hours, just to maybe get 4 minutes of the divas. But it was worth it. I fell in love with everyone. So
Yeah, no, I enjoy. So as far as divas go, who were some of the ones that you grew up loving? Because I came up in the era of the Attitude Era where the women weren't prominently featured, and if they were scantily clad and here and there and yada yada yada. So I got a chance to really in real time watch the development of women's wrestling from just being valets to maybe getting being able to be ringside from here and there, and then when they do have matches, they're it's more like cat fights. It's not like competitive action. So we saw that development. But as far as you coming up, who were some of the women's wrestlers that really stuck with you?
during the time that I was growing up, that was around the time that it was starting to fizzle out, the gimmicky matches, the pillow fights, and they had like a Super Bowl match with like 7-on-7 girls. Like they had all those theme matches. So I grew up
Hmm.
still looking at that. But the first few divas that I really grew to love was Mickey James, Melina, Michelle McCool, Beth, Kelly Kelly, and then I would watch TNA because I would watch them wrestle, and I'm like, dang, I wish that those girls in WWE could do what the TNA girls were doing. So I really was attracted to like Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, and the Beautiful People. Those were the people I really gravitated to in the early bits, and then I really grew into WWE later on that I got in my life.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. So it's almost like we're doing a chronological thing here as far as the development of women's wrestling, because you talked about like the Beth Phoenixes and the
Mhm.
Molinas and whatnot. So of course, keeping it in the news here, topical. A couple years go by, and the women's division kind of fizzles a little bit, and then you have names like Paige that came into play, and then you have names like AJ Lee who came into play. And I just want to stay with AJ real quick because it is very topical. And of course, you being such a huge fan of women's wrestling, I just real quick want to ask you, how did AJ Lee influence you back then? And seeing everything that AJ Lee is doing now, returning and looking great and being able to get the flowers that she deserves that she didn't get 10 years ago, how's that vibing with you as well?
So, oh my gosh, I'm about to say something so embarrassing. I was such a weird kid when I was younger. I loved AJ Lee. AJ
Yeah.
Lee was that girl to me because she was one of the first girls that really got the microphone and was able to speak. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
she was also in all of these prominent storylines with the men. And yeah, they were storylines that personally I wish that would have been just the girls going at it and competing. But at the time, that's what needed to happen so that there could be a woman that's mainstream so that the
Yeah.
rest of the girls can come down and have these opportunities. I used to skip into classes in like sixth grade. I was so weird. And I used to always listen to her theme song all the time. I used to think I was AJ Lee. Everybody at my school would tell you that I was AJ Lee. Like
Yeah.
that was my mother. So with her returning, it was like hell froze over for me because when she left in 2015, all of us thought that she wouldn't ever return. And then there
Right.
were so many chances that she could come back. And she just never did. So in my head, I'm just like, okay, well, she's not ever coming back. So when she did come back this Friday and everyone was talking about it, in my head, I'm like, Man, y'all been saying that for years, and she still has not, like, it's not happening. So when she did come back, I live with like two people, and you can ask both of them. I screamed at the top of my lungs. I could not believe it. So her
Hell
coming
yeah.
back is so pivotal for the girls.
Oh man, it really is. And it's like I've been telling people on this show and like off the air or whatever. It's such an amazing time for her to be back with her being 38 years of age, in great shape, been training, and then just to drop her in the women's division as it is right now is just wonderful. And like we've been talking about, women's wrestling is thriving so much, and like that goes for you as well, because you're thriving in those spaces, and like it's amazing to see these opportunities that you are getting. So like let's stay with that real quick. Let's go to your career as far as where you started at. You were watching wrestling, you were heavily influenced by the women's division, but when did you decide yourself that it was time for Storm Garcon to start wrestling?
I knew that I wanted to be a wrestler since I was 14. I knew that, but I was always told and I was raised to like get your education first and then come to wrestling. So I went to
Sure.
college first, and I wasn't really happy in college. Honestly, I did it for about 3 years, and my entire mind just kept telling me to just go to wrestling, go to wrestling. That's what's going to make you happy. And I was in a really low point in my life. So when I was like 18 years old, I went to my first place in Ohio. They're no longer here, but it used to be Believe Wrestling Academy. And I went there, didn't know what was going on, and the price to get into wrestling school, I didn't have that in my pocket. So
I get
I
it.
said I have to get older and then come back. So around the time I was 20, that is when I stepped into wrestling. And I started training at the Cody Hawk Academy in Hamilton, Ohio. And I
Yeah.
was trained by Jay West and Aaron Williams. Cody Hawk at that time was beginning to go and venture off into different places. But before I could wrestle, they had to send the information to Cody Hawk, and Cody Hawk saw me wrestle a little bit, and that's when everyone knew that I could wrestle. So I had that, and then I also was kind of traveling and I was working around. These are not my trainers, but I do want to give them a special shout out to Sammy Callahan, Jessica Havoc, and etc. because those people did also help me get my feet wet in the industry.
Yeah, always good uh to hear the wrestlers give back and remember where they came from, because that's big. I mean, I personally, and I've told you this before, I think you're going to be great and do great things in the business. So it's great that you remember where you came from. I got my man OG Tony in the chat. He's saying Storm is fantastic and that he is a big fan. The chat is going off, so we appreciate y'all giving y'all's time to myself and Storm. And all right. So I want to continue this conversation because we talked about women's wrestling. We talked about your start. I know you've been wrestling for, has it been about 2 years, 2, 3 years?
It's been 2.5 years,
Two and a
yes.
half years. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so I'm always careful with how I bring this in, but I have to because you're such an amazing individual. And you are a trans athlete, and I wanted to bring that in because I just wanted to, what type of challenges have you had to face? And I bring this up because you are such a pillar in that space, and people are seeing that now, and the opportunities that you're getting are growing, and that does create a pressure because of the place that you hold. So I want to ask, what's are some of the challenges that you've had to face being a trans athlete in the pro wrestling space?
Oh my goodness. If I were to tell you every single thing I've been through or all the challenges, we'd be here all day. So
Sure, sure.
to summarize it, it is very hard for me to be involved anywhere, honestly. People look at me immediately and then they kind of batch me in with, well, we don't know where to put her. We don't know if we want her to wrestle with the guys or we don't know if we want her to wrestle with the girls. And then if they put me with the guys, it's like, okay, well, it doesn't it doesn't make sense for her to wrestle these guys, but we don't want to ruffle our conservative crowds. So we don't know if we want to put her against the girls either. So I just tell them, like, put me in with whoever and just see if I sink or swim. And if you think that I am profitable for you, or if you think that I can change people's minds, then you keep bringing me back. So that's the mindset that I've had my entire career, is that I already knew every single crowd that I get in front of. I have major anxiety because I don't know how they're going to perceive me. And I could be there every single time, and there will always be that inkling in my mind telling me that there is going to be someone in that crowd that just might feel like saying something ignorant to me or whatever. But then I see all the messages and everybody that supports me, and I know that I'm doing it for them, especially all of the other like black trans athletes, like
Hmm.
the black trans people that want to be performers and they're too nervous to go out there and do it. I know I'm doing it for them too. So yeah, I'm doing it for me, but I'm doing it for them, and I'm also trying to open up the door because there's not many people like me like around at all. And
Yeah.
there's damn sure not nobody like me on TV. Like there's Sunny Kiss, Nyla Rose, Giselle Shaw, to name a
Yeah.
few. But even with that, they deserve to get more. So there's still so much to do. There's still so much fight to give. And if I can do even something to change the perception so that the next generation can come in and have it a little bit easier than me, that's what I want to do.
No doubt. No, I totally respect that. Like you were saying, shout out to like Nyla Rose and Giselle Shaw and Dark Sheik, Kid Bandit, Max the Impaler, who's trans masculine and non binary. So, like, shout out to all y'all for going out there and still chasing y'all's dreams, even when people were, trying to put you down. But you guys are truly inspiring a whole generation of people. So, I know that's hard to keep in perspective. And that's heavy to carry, being like, being in that spot where you are, people are, people in your spaces, that are trans, they're looking at you and they're like, there is a place for me, there is a spot for me to come in and do this if I love this. So what you guys are doing, in my opinion, super important, for the business. And I just wanted to bring that out there and talk about that a little bit. But let's keep going here because you are the main topic, and today you're the main topic. But I want to ask, where did the moniker, the name, the main topic come from?
Yeah, so I always thought about like what my character would be in professional wrestling, and I knew that I wanted to be different. I didn't want to be the average like trans person that made everything about that. I already knew that I was going to be presented a certain way, so I wanted to put a spin on my own narrative. So the main
Sure.
topic comes from being inspired from women like Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, women of color, who
Yeah.
are by far, in my opinion, some of the best wrestlers and athletes of their generation. And they broke down so many barriers. I'm going to be the main topic regardless. You see me in the ring with somebody, you're going to talk about me. You're going to talk about me, especially if you've never seen anyone like me before. Regardless if it's positive or negative, regardless if it's oh, what is she bringing to the table, or like, I don't understand what a trans person is. What is that? You're going to walk away knowing that when you see me again, oh, I saw her perform at wherever or wherever, whatever. Because someone like me, like I said, there's not many people like me. So I call myself the main topic because I'm always going to be the topic of conversation. But I always want to make sure that I'm the topic of conversation, as in she had a good match, no matter what she goes by or what she identifies herself as, she ate that up. So that's really what the main topic is to me at its core, is taking what people are going to talk about, taking that narrative and making it even better and bigger for you. If people are going to talk about you, at least make some money off of it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great mindset to have. We see it all the time on social media. I'll be scrolling and see some videos on there, and people will just be hate watching stuff. Like, and I'm like, but you're still giving them attention. You're still, but your Meta's still gonna pay them because you giving them engagement. So I love that. I think that it's perfect for your character and what you represent. So I dig that, and it makes me like, because I was already like, the main topic. That's cold. I like that. But now that I know the more meaning behind it, I think it's even better. Real quick, shout out to Divine Women's Pro Wrestling. They say we know where to put her, but she put herself there, and let's stay there real quick because you are the Divine Women's Pro Wrestling Champion. I know you've been there for about a year, maybe around a year wrestling there, if that's
Yes.
correct. And I know that holding that title is a very very a proud moment for you, a proud achievement. And let's talk about Divine Pro. Let's talk about what Divine Pro means to you and being their champion.
Oh my god, yeah. So I wanted to work at Divine Pro for a while because I had seen them, and the show before I actually was able to perform for them, a few of my friends had worked for them, like Casey Clay and etc. And so I was like, oh, I really want to see what that's about. So I forgot who reached out to who, but we made it work in September to where I was going to wrestle against Ray Larson, and it was just going to be me and her. And
I
then it
love
turned into
Ray.
me, her, and Jody Threat, which was like, whoa.
Ooh, okay.
And I won that night. And they were they're not the first, but they are one of the first to really believe in me. And for
Sure.
this being an all women's promotion and having a trans person be at the forefront of that, that takes guts,
Yeah,
especially in today's era, especially in today's society where like trans athletes, performers, wrestlers, it doesn't matter, that it's such a hot topic for people, whether for good or for bad. And it's
hmm,
always the main topic of discussion. Once again, going back to my gimmick. So being the Divine Pro Women's Champion means a lot to me because I'm the first ever trans person to hold it. And that means that performing in front of them, in front of the Uplift, which is a queer bar in Michigan, and seeing all of their faces once I won, it made it all the more worth it. So I
that is
thank Divine Pro
amazing.
for investing in me, and I hope that I continue to do so. I have a defense coming up soon in October, October the 4th for Neo Pro Wrestling. I'm representing. So whoever they put me up against, I hope they're ready to go and throw down.
Most definitely. And I think that's dope. I'm loving this conversation right now. And we're going to continue it with my guest, the main topic, Storm Garcon. But before we continue this conversation, we're going to take a break. We're going to pay a few bills. And then when we come back, I have more questions for Storm. We're going to keep on going. See you in a second.
Hello, everyone. It's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Welcome to the Brainbuster T-shirt website where your favorite podcast team in your house lives. Look at all these fantastic options you have. If you want that sweet hype, we got it. You want to be divinely designed at yours. Have you lost your voice? We have all that voice merch for you. Are you just a part of the household? We got that too. Brainbuster Tees is where IYH live. Mm. Mm. Brainbuster Tees is where IYH live.
Hey guys, welcome back to In Your House, and I'm sitting in with my guest, the main topic, Storm Garcon. And guys, before I got on this interview, I was doing some running around. I had to run some errands, get a few things done, and then I went ahead and went to the gym and got my workout in. And I try to get my workout in as consistently as I possibly can, so that way, I'm getting up there in age and whatnot. I'm not too old. I'm still, still young man. But we aging. We aging. So we got to stay in the gym, keep it right, keep it tight. And in order for me to get the energy and do everything that I need to do and get my workout in, hey, I'm just glad that I have Goalie Nutrition on my side. That is Goalie Gummies. And we got a care package in just a few days ago. And that was their sugar free essentials pack. And man, I've been really using that, y'all. I've been using that apple cider vinegar gummies. They've been really helping me out. You're trying to cut a little off the stomach, off the little gut area. Your fupa fupaing. You gotta get right and tight with the apple cider vinegar. And then if you're trying to chill and relax after a hard day of work, or maybe after a match like Storm Garcon, you need to get with those ashwagandha gummies, and that's gonna help you restore, chill out, rejoice, you could just max. And you got to take care of your gut health is important. So that's why I go with the sugar-free pre and post probiotic gummies. Make sure you're getting it right, getting it tight. And if you need to focus, get your mind right, get with the matcha mind so you can focus and do everything that you need to do and hit everything with precision, just like a scissor kick from Storm Garcon. So we're going to continue this conversation with my great guest, Storm. And listen, this has been a great conversation so far. Already learned a lot about your background, learned a lot about what you do. But I got to ask you, you're doing great work with like Divine Pro. You just made your Emerge debut. You're really cooking with gas right now and really like wrestling some great talent. But is there anybody that you have wrestled that it kind of like bumped you up to that next level, like a match that really sticks with you?
Um, I have two. I have
Okay, sure.
I went to Las Vegas in June and I had a Pride Show event for Big Valley Wrestling. And I had a
Okay.
match against Olivia Vegas. Now, I don't know if you guys know who she is because she's a West Coast girl, but
Hmm.
she is very well known on the West Coast. She is so talented. And me and her, I put on one of my best matches with her. She was such a pleasure. Going to the West Coast is big for me personally
Sure.
because that means that I'm traveling nationally. So I can put that to my name. So that was very, very important to me. And it did bump me up to that next level because now I know that I can go to either coast and perform to my highest ability. But the match that sticks with me by far the most is it's a triple threat match that I had recently. And it's actually for RCW Revolution Championship Wrestling. I competed against Shauna Reed and Indy Hartwell.
Ooh, okay.
It was
God
by
damn.
far one of my probably the biggest match I ever had in my career. And I had a chance to have some one-on-one time with Indy and I watched her on TV, and I
Yeah,
never thought
yeah.
that I'd compete against her. She was a pleasure and she can fight. So that definitely bumped me up into that next level. To say I wrestled someone on that level and
Sure.
hold my own with her, I feel like I can hold my own against anyone.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That is amazing, man. And yeah, Indy just just left WWE just short time ago and got right back to work. Got right back to taking bookings and stuff, and that's great to see. But let's stay with you as far as matches goes. We talked about matches that kicked you up to a next level. Let's talk about some opponents that you might anticipate. Is there anybody on your short list that you would love to just hop in there and tangle with?
Um, at the very top of that list is Sunny Kiss for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
Trailblazer,
absolutely.
so legendary in the LGBT community for what she's done for us, and I am pretty close to her, and it's just something that I really, really want to do. So Sunny Kiss by far is at the top of that list for me. Um, I want to wrestle Sophia Rose in OVW. Me and Sophia,
Ooh.
I feel like that would be really, really good. Hopefully, one day I can go to OVW and compete with those girls. But Sophia is at the top of my list as well as Freya the Slayer because
Oh, I love Freya.
I love Freya. I think Freya is so talented. I would love to compete against her. But if I'm like aiming high, I really want to wrestle Athena. Athena, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. That
Yeah.
that is the match I want. If somebody can book that match, if that can happen somewhere, listen, I will die for her. Like literally do whatever you want to me. Like I'm in there.
Yeah, I love it. I love that would be great to watch. And that'd be so good to watch. Seeing you against any of those women would be great. And I think that you guys would put on a great match. So we talked about some opponents. Let's talk about some promotions. Is there any promotions that you would love to, have your debut with that's kind of been maybe on your mind, on your radar?
I mean, I would like to go to OVW. That's one of those promotions that I really think I could shine at, and it's a really
Sure.
good opportunity at TV. So I would love to push some more of my narrative there in front of a bigger crowd. So OVW, I would say Emerge, but I just debuted at Emerge. Emerge was a place that I really, really, really wanted to go to. So I
I'm
really don't
so
have
happy that
any on my
happened.
bucket list right now. I wanted to go to Emerge War.
Oop, I think I lost her there. While she's figuring that out, yes, I would definitely love to see Storm at OV. Oh, do we have you back?
I'm here.
There you go. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh, I was just saying that I really don't have many big spots that I want to go to right now, other than TV promotions, other than
Sure.
OVW, because Emerge was very big on my list, War was very big on my list, and Mega was really big on my list. So if I were to go somewhere else, it would be Hood Slam in California, where Dark
Oh,
Sheik,
okay.
yeah, Dark Sheik, she owns that, and I really want to work for them.
Oh yes, that is true. Okay, yeah, and that's what Divine is bringing. That would be great. I would really love to see you on the OVW level. I got a chance to do OVW a couple years ago, and manage Sam, and it was so cool for me personally, just because like I came up and I knew about OVW developmental, and Brock Lesnar got his start there, Shelton Benjamin, John Cena, so many. My man who I produce his podcast for, the Pope Elijah Burke, got his start at OVW. So like it was so cool to be a part of that and be in there. And then when you go there, you can see all, like, they have pictures of all the people who started there, like in the locker room all over the wall. So you feel it. And like, I just think that would be a perfect place for you because like everything that I saw was so airtight. They were running it like a television. It is a
Mhm.
television program. They were running it like a television program. Had to make sure this things have to be done at this time. You only get this amount of time. You got to be tight with that time. Oh, now we got to take a break. Blah blah. It was so cool to see it firsthand. And for me personally, while it was so great to step through that curtain and be a part of that for an episode, I was more fascinated with what they were doing in production and doing all that stuff. I was pretty much just telling you is hitting those times, making sure things go to what they're doing. But I think that would be a perfect next step for you because I would love to see you getting taught how to work the camera and how to do, know where the, of course I know that you know where the hard cam is and everything, but like working the camera angles and knowing when to do certain things. And I would just love to see you in that situation so that way we can see you develop even more.
I hope so. One day, I'm really, really putting my fingers crossed for it. There's a lot of girls in OVW that I've already wrestled with before, women like Tegan Thorne and Lovely Miss Larkin,
Yeah.
etc. So I don't think that there's anybody that's like me there at OVW. I think that I could definitely shake it up a little bit for sure.
Absolutely. I think that would, yeah, that would absolutely be great. Let's stay with it because you named those names like Freya the Slayer and like the lovely Miss Larkin and like Tegan Thorne and whatnot. We talked about some of your favorite matches that leveled you up. We talked about some of the promotions that you like to go to. Let's talk about some of your favorite opponents. Is there anybody that you just loved, like you've had 2, 3 matches with them and you just love to tangle with them?
Yeah, I only wrestled with them once, and it wasn't a triple threat match. But the chemistry that me and Alice Crowley had at Divine
Oh, okay.
was really good. I really like to wrestle with Alice, and I can't wait to have that happen again sometime. Shauna Reed's another good one. Shauna Reed and I, we put on quite a few bangers together, and I wouldn't mind wrestling with her any day of the week. One of my biggest opponents is Tegan Thorne. I worked for Supreme for a while right now.
In Madison, right?
Yes, in Madison, Indiana. I'm taking a little bit of a hiatus from them, but one of my best opponents there was Tegan Thorne. I love working with her. We were nominated for Feud of the Year.
Wow.
So that is one of my wrestling sisters. I think that's my babes when it comes to wrestling.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen some of her work. Haven't got a chance to talk to her yet, but I've seen some of the work that she's done. She seems very talented. But you're very talented as well. And I wanna ask this. Where do you base, we talked about some of your character work as far as being the main topic. Let's talk about your in-ring your in-ring prowess. Where do you base some of your offense off, some of what you do, some of your move set? Where do you pull influence from?
I pull it from a lot of the women in the past. I'm going to be honest. Sasha
Fair.
Banks, Mercedes Monet,
Yeah.
that's my girl. She put on some of the best matches I've ever seen, literally. And so I love her down. I watch Io Sky a lot as well. Io Sky on the technical level is one of the best in the world, in my opinion. And I watch her religiously. So I watch a lot of her matches and I kind of take and pull a little bit from there. I watch a little bit of Booker T too,
Sure,
um,
yeah.
because he uses his legs a lot and I have long legs. So
Yes, yeah.
I use that and some of the things that he does. scissors kick or even like the bookend and things like that. I watch him too. So those are some of my main three, and Gail Kim. Love watching Gail Kim
Oh
matches.
yeah, Gil, yeah, yeah. Those man, that's I love that. I love those answers. I mean, and like that's what I like. I love it when talent goes back and I don't know, maybe you seem like you watch a lot of film. I don't know
I do.
if okay, that's what I like you I assume that you watch a lot of film and I think that that's such a key component like as far as what you guys do. Like is that where you feel like you might have a leg up? Because I've watched a lot of wrestlers. I mean, and people ask me, I've been around for a while, and like I just like watching you, I'm like, man, it's like for you only wrestling for about two some years. It seems like you've got a lot of it like there's still there's still stuff to learn, but like you seem like you've got it down pretty quick, and like I just think that's pretty cool. So especially watching it from my standpoint, as mainly a viewer, not an in-ring competitor of any kind, commentator, do all that stuff, but like I just enjoy to watch it. So as far as like your move set, everything that you do, is there what tell the household a little bit about like some of your signature moves, some of your like finishing moves for anybody who might have not seen you.
Yeah. So I do the storm cycle, which is a pump kick. It's a big pump kick. If you don't know what a pump kick is, it's like Sheamus's bro kick or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And so I call it the storm cycle. It's my finisher. I've won many a championship with that. I've retained many a title with that. I also do the Fujiwara armbar, which is watching Deanna Perrazzo, watching technical wrestling, I learned how to study wrestling. So when I watch wrestling, I don't watch it as a fan anymore. I watch
yeah,
it to study it. I watch it to see how these people move into different positions in wrestling and how can they get on top. And so I watch a lot of technical wrestling. So the
sure,
Fujiwara armbar is something that I kind of stole, inspired from Deanna Perrazzo. And I also do the jumping, leaping DDT, which is kind of what Mickey James does. And that's
yeah.
just my ode to say thank you to her for everything that she's done for me and for wrestling in general.
Absolutely. I was always a fan of Mickey James. I admit, when Mickey James came out, I was a teenager, so it was different reasons, but
Well,
I,
you are a fan. You are a fan, all right.
I was a fan, but of course, being older, and I appreciate her contributions to the business, all the work that she's done and put towards it, and just how important it was to see her like be in the Royal Rumble and hold the TNA Knockouts Championship at the same time. That was like that gave me
Iconic.
goosebumps. Like it was just one of those moments, So like I appreciate Mickey James on many different levels. That's just to say that, but it's just so cool to like hear you speak about your process, hear you speak about how you prepare, how you set up, and I want to hear more about that. How do you like mentally prepare for matches? I know we just talked about like how you're big on film and everything, but what do you do to like mentally prepare like maybe shortly before you're about to go through the curtain?
Yeah, so I like to tape study my opponents. So anytime I find out that I'm going against someone and I'm scheduled, I will look up their matches online and I will see what they bring and what they do so that I can train to combat that. So in the event that they try those things, here's my plan A, B, and C on how to get out of this, this, and this based off of what they've done and what I think they could do if they want to shock me or get a rabbit out the hat. So I like this tape study. But right before I go out there, I kind of kneel down and I don't know, maybe you saw it this past Saturday, but I just put my hood over my head and I
Yeah,
just kind of look down and I kind of embrace the moment and I step out of who I really am and I become Storm Garcon. And nothing else matters at that moment but me, my opponent, and the crowd that I have to perform in front of, and the championship if there is one that I'm competing against or defending. So, I become a competitor at that point and I want to win. I mentally
absolutely.
just tell myself that I just affirmation, you are the best, you can do this. Nobody can get in between you and what you are destined to do. And I just remind myself that I am in control at all times.
Absolutely. No, I love to hear that. I always find that interesting to hear the right before you go through the curtain process. I love to hear with many different talents because some of you cats, y'all like to, you have some rituals and stuff like that, or maybe you're just like, don't talk to me, don't bother me, I'm in my head, like. And I get it, I totally understand as a performer. So I think that's really cool. I noticed earlier that you had said you watch, when you watch matches, you don't really watch as a fan anymore, you kind of watch, for tape study. I do always want to ask this. I know you're actively competing, you're booked every single weekend, you're defending championships, looking to win more championships, and really continue to etch your legacy in what professional wrestling is. But I always want to ask this. Do you still follow any product? Are you still, can you turn it on from time to time? And maybe you're a fan of WWE, maybe you're a fan of AEW. Is there ever a moment where you could turn it off and just be like, I'm just watching it for the story, I'm just being a fan for this moment?
Yeah, so WWE, I kind of watch from a fan perspective because I'm not trying to sound. I'm realistic. Like it's going to be harder for me to get into WWE because they have so much that they, so many people fighting to be on WWE, but
Hmm.
also representation is really tough right now. So I already know that it's harder for me to get there. So I kind of watch that as like a fan, hopefully to get
Sure.
there. But realistically, I watch to study like AEW or TNA or NWA or something like that where I know that there's a shot that right now in these next couple years I could be there. So I want to watch this and see what I can do so that I can bring something different to that table. WWE has all of the big names that you dream of competing against. Like people wrestle their entire life with this hope that, oh, I get to wrestle AJ Styles or I get to wrestle Charlotte Flair. So I kind of watch that on that level of let me appreciate these names and let me be a fan of these people. But other than that, I watch it as a competitor.
Sure, sure, no, absolutely. I just always got to ask, just
Mhm.
because when you talk to, I for all of the talents that I've talked to for all these years, sometimes you get so deep in, trying to build what you're doing, that you kind of get tunnel vision and you stop, you don't really pay attention to what really made you want to do it in the first place. But I get it, because like I said, you're trying to forge that legacy and move forward, and get to places that you want to get to. And yeah, I would love to see you in like an NWA. I think that would be very cool. I think that's a solid, that's a solid promotion that I know cats that work there and they enjoy it. It's a great place to be. So I would love to see you, make that move to that. But like definitely in the short term, like a OVW. But I do want to ask this, because this has been a really great episode. It's been such an epic time to learn more about you and have my fan base, the household, learn more about you. So that's really great. I always want to end it and ask a question like this. Uh, as far as what you're doing, I know sometimes it's hard to really think about the grand scheme of things, because you're trying to take bookings and watch film and train and do all the things that you need to do to be great. But I do want to ask this: at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, and this is just a beautiful memory, uh, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to be defined by as the main topic, Storm Garcon?
I just want to leave this business better than I found it. You know, for people like me, I'm all about just my community and my people of color, trans people, LGBT people, queer people. I want them to look at me and hopefully one day there's people 10, 15 years from now that's like the reason why I'm wrestling now is because I saw someone like Storm Garcon wrestling. That is what I do it for. I do it because I want to be remembered longer than when I'm here. So whenever my time is done here on this earth, I want people to remember me for what I've done and knowing that I had to do it because I was good, because I was talented, because I could not be denied, and because I wanted this. And that's the main goal for me is to be happy with what I do and to make others happy because of what I've done. And as long as that's said and done, it doesn't matter where I go. As long as I've inspired somebody, I can put my boots up and be very happy.
Hey, I definitely dig that. I definitely vibe with that. I think you are inspiring people, most definitely, actively. Why, and you might not even know it. You might not even know it. So I just always like to tell talents that are up and coming and striving, like you are, keep going, don't stop, keep pushing. Because even when it gets tough, you're making a difference and you're building a legacy. And legacy building's not easy. It's not easy. It's not. It's somebody who came up playing a lot of video games. I was always under the philosophy that if you're moving in a direction where things are getting harder, that means you're moving in the right direction. So I think that you're moving in the right direction. I think that you're doing exactly what you need to do. And like I said, keep on going. And I know that you've got a lot of things moving. So as a great guest that you were, Storm, I definitely want to give you the opportunity to plug anything that you want to plug, your social media, upcoming appearances, anything. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, you can follow me on Storm Garcon literally everywhere: Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok. Anything you need, I got it. I am representing the Divine Women's Championship. I will be defending that on October the 4th for Neo Pro Wrestling. I'll be making my debut there. And I also have the IPW Women's Championship
Oh,
from
hold on to
Michigan.
go.
Yes, I'll be defending this on September 21st in Grand Rapids, Michigan, just in case you guys want to know. And on September 26th, I'm also defending another one, the
Oh my
New Edge
God.
Pro Women's Championship. That will be in Michigan as well, and the flyer will be out to be determined. This upcoming Saturday, I plan on winning another belt
Oh my
against Stephanie
God.
Mack for Indiana Powerhouse Wrestling. That will be in Muncie, Indiana. So for anyone that has nothing to do on Saturday and you want to see me perform live and in living color, please show up. I'll make sure to give you a hug or something.
Or something. Listen, don't be weird, all right? Y'all better not be out there being weird, all right?
Don't
I
be
be
weird, because I would
I
hate
be
to have to
seeing
cross
y'all.
your T.
I be seeing y'all all the time out there. Don't be being weird, all right?
Don't be
So
weird. Please
enjoy
don't be
some wrestling. That's it. Enjoy some wrestling. And I enjoyed this conversation. Storm, thank you so much for coming on, giving some of your time to talk about all the things that you've been through, all the accomplishments that you've had, all the accomplishments that you aspire to do. I know we've talked for a while in the inbox, but it was truly, truly a pleasure to finally talk to you and have that extended conversation with you. So I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And this was our first conversation, y'all. Like, this is the first time we really got to know each other. So this was in front of y'all. This is for you guys.
Exactly. This is in real time, and that's why we do it for. So, one last thank you to my amazing guest, independent professional wrestler, the main topic, Storm Garcon. And guys, you already know, just like Storm, we're putting in that work, and that's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So, one last time for my great guest, the main topic, Storm Garcon, and the whole team here at In Your House. My name is Alakon, the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.
Yeah, yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Prophecy in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Whoa.